I noticed a uptick, and this is really over the past few years. Some really startling incidents where gun violence activists are being murdered.
Yeah, but not because they're doing gun violence. No,
That's what I wanted to ask you.
no, 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 no. And I've been checking that myself, even throughout the whole country.
All right,
These
good.
people who've been shot, I have not heard it declared. Un, un, I mean, no one has come out and said to me, and I've asked people that this guy doing this just because of the fact he was doing gun. Even the brother that the imam in Jersey that got killed. You
Mhm.
know, there was some doubt as to whether he got killed because he was out there trying to stop gun violence. I have not heard it be declared unambiguously that, hey, this guy was killed because he was trying to stop gun violence. Even when we had our altercation out there in Kensington, the guy said, clear the corner, we're going to come out and clear this joint out. Now, if they had come around and shot us all up, it would have been known that it was solely because we were trying to stop gun violence. Because we didn't confront anybody. We didn't mess with any drug dealers on the corners. We were just out there as a presence, and that was it. But I have not known that incident to occur not one time. And if you ever find one, please let me know.
Well, speaking of Kensington, the reason why whoever that was told y'all to clear it out or they gonna come clear it out is because he had a stake in the market around their
Well,
house.
we know that. We know
Right.
that. We know where we
So
were at. We knew the area. The police officer that was with us told us about the whole area and the people who run that joint. We had been there before, not on that same corner, but in the corners around that corner, because we stayed out there for over a month. So we knew, and they knew us. They seen us before. One of the first time they seen us out there. But we knew,
so
but our thing was we were not directly confronting anyone. So if we got shot, it would have definitely been solely because we were trying to prevent or trying to be a presence in the community, and that's it. It would have been
now
solely on that.
let me ask, because that brings me back to my point and my strategy. Well, part anyway, about Kensington. Now you got guys down there that's willing to do whatever they got to do to keep this money coming in, because dope fiends are literally every two steps you take, it's a dope fiend, and sometimes it's a pile of them. Just they everywhere.
That's
So
right.
that's the money.
That's right.
That's where they get their money from. The dope fiends. So why do you think the cops just allowed them to all the dope fiends to just stay down there?
Like we said, bro, they wanted to concentrate this thing in one area.
But no, why they won't arrest them though? I mean, more dope fiends are
Well,
coming.
I think they're not arresting them, and this go back to our laws again. And this is what I'm saying. I think laws are a whole lot lax than they were back in the day. A lot of these things have to do with the new laws on the books. A lot of this is now about treatment instead of prosecution, you know. And so the truth of the matter is, I think they tried it and it got out of hand down in Kensington. I think they thought they could contain it and they couldn't, and it got so out of hand that now it's just so out of hand that even the people who live down there don't want to live there anymore.
Well, how can no, all right, hold up. Because anybody knows if you just let all the dope fiends from all over the surrounding suburb areas come down to this area, and nobody's gonna be arrested no matter how many times we see you sticking a needle in your neck in public, smoking a crack pipe in public, selling whatever drug in public. You mean to tell me somebody believed that it was a possibility that it was going to be better? The conditions would improve if you don't
I believe
arrest
that they
the
know they
dope
didn't
fiends?
have to worry about them being downtown. I believe that. They didn't have to worry about them being downtown. They go down to Kensington. They don't have to go downtown. The tourists downtown don't have to see them shooting up or doing whatever the mess they doing in Kensington. That's all. They made sure they
But
put it in one.
they're not locking them up. Is my point. You're supposed to get arrested for this. Now you're doing dope in public.
Nah,
Why are
nah,
we not locking them up?
they're not, because if you think about when Kennedy declared a state of emergency on opioid crisis in Kensington, which he wouldn't do for gun violence, but when he did, he set up treatment down there. They were trying to get these people, give them treatment and all this kind of stuff. and evidently, obviously, it went awry because it went back to the way it was. So, I mean, they're not, because remember this too. When black people were out of here doing this stuff, it was a crime. When white people started doing it, it was about treatment, right? It was an opioid crisis. When white folk did it, when we did it, was a crime. So this is the truth of the matter. They didn't, when we had crack, they weren't out here trying to give us treatment for crack as they are these opioid crisis situation. So I mean, all we gotta do is look at the facts, and this is the facts of it. So they down there now trying to treat these kids. Okay, which I know Parker's going to put down some treatment centers down there. There's no way she's going to clean that place out, lock people up, and all this other stuff without giving them an alternative to go into treatment. There's no way. Even
It's
though, even though they didn't give us those alternatives when we had a crack epidemic going on in our communities.
honestly, I'm not really mad at locking somebody up who is like a public nuisance, or somebody who's committing petty crimes or serious crimes that also is on these illicit drugs. I'm not mad at that. I'm mad at the fact that, because I try not to compare what they doing today to what they did to us. It's really obvious, but I'm really just focused on today. What is the solution? And you can't offer a heroin addict or a meth head. If you ask them, they'll tell you, "Look, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to stay at the rehab. If I go there today, I'm not going to stay. I'm gonna leave as soon as I'm able to leave, and I'm probably going to break out of there because they don't want to be sick." So you can't offer. Maybe you could offer a crack addict because it's a different drug. I've seen people just get off crack. They
That's
just didn't
right.
want to smoke it no more after 15, 20 years, and they just all of a sudden don't smoke crack no more. But heroin, I've never seen somebody just, "Hey, I'm gonna just go on down there today, check myself in, y'all,
Nah,
and
refer
I'm gonna
to
be
the
back
crack.
in a few months, and I'm gonna be clean as a whistle."
I refer
That
to
ain't
the
gonna
crack
happen with
epidemic.
these kind of drugs. So you really do have to lock somebody up and put them in a room for a few days until they get over their sickness, because it's a real physical sickness that they experience.
That's right.
So when you know everybody down there is on fentanyl, and they can't leave from down there, they just not going to leave and go into a rehab voluntarily. You gotta involuntarily 302 anybody who has what they're calling the drug addiction, a mental illness. So if it's a mental illness, then why not mandatory 302 these people,
They might not have the
put them
space.
in the rehab, and they
They
can't
might not
leave
have the
for six
space.
months.
They might not have the space.
Man, in
I don't.
jail,
I don't know. They may not. I don't know.
they got plenty of space in jail, and they got rehab in jail. That's what I don't understand. It's perfect. Lock them up. Don't give them 100 years. Give them mandatory in-house rehabilitation. Give them like a 9 months, because you need it. You sleeping, standing up. We helping you out here. When you wake up, you're gonna be in here, three hots in the cot, and you go to that room right there with all the other people that's trying to kick, and make sure they don't get high while they in there, because a lot of them get high while they in there. But at the end of the day, man, you really can control a person who's sleeping, standing up, high on fentanyl. You can make the determination what they should do from this point on, because they're publicly intoxicated. First of all, so that's one thing. You'll get locked up if you was drinking, if you was smoking marijuana. But if you high on fentanyl and you standing out here in front of the school with a needle hanging out your neck, and there's 20 more of y'all lined up, why they don't lock them up, man? It don't make sense, because they really need the drug rehab that they would give to anybody who was caught with marijuana and had marijuana in their system. They would make them do a rehab and pay for it. I'm saying lock them in there and actually rehabilitate these people. It should be real easy, because they not they. I mean, they high. I mean, what they gonna do? They gonna tell you that they not coming if they say they don't want to come? You just take them. I think it's the humane thing to do, actually. But sleeping outside on the curb with a needle in your neck, that can't be safe, man. I'd rather they be in jail The jail can build for them. They're going to make money. They got plenty of room for them. But that's just my take on that, man. That ain't going to happen or would have been happening.